Hello and welcome to the True Crime Lounge. Um, this is the podcast to my YouTube channel. I also have social media. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. I have a merch shop you can go check out as well. I do apologize for because it's been a minute since I've done a podcast episode, but I really wanted to end this one on a good end this one with something appropriate for the month of September. Um, but yeah. Today's episode, I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's going to be a bit of trigger warning. Just a heads up. But on the finale episode season 1, we're going to be talking about a case of a young girl whose bullying led her to suicide. You might remember the case of 15-year-old Amanda Todd from Canada. Well, this is going to be the episode today. Amanda Michelle Todd was born November 27, 1996. She would have been 26 years old today. She was a 15-year-old Canadian teenager who passed away from suicide. You might remember her from her videos of the flashcards on YouTube before taking the next step, in which she described she was tormented, abused, harassed, and hounded both online and offline. She lived her life like any other 12-year-old girl who was wanting who until she met someone who persuaded her to show her breast online. Todd's trauma began when she was blackmailed into giving him a performance. And I'm going to use the performance in air quotes, guys, for a reason. So, and then posted a topless photo of her on Facebook and disseminated it online. This torment, bullying, and physical abuse led to Todd's passing away due to suicide. Today, I'm going to tell her story a little bit, but keep in mind, please be respectful, guys. Bullying is never okay. This stuff is very hard to talk about, especially if you're someone who has attempted it. And imagine how the family feels about this. But let's get started, shall we? Now, I've been trying to figure out how do I want to end the finale episode of the season 1 True Crime Lounge podcast. And I thought about it, and September is an emotional month for me as well. But I survived. After my third and last attempt, I survived. Amanda wasn't so lucky. And I think we need to know that, guys, bullying is never okay. Depression is something we all go through. And I will put a link through for there is a page for anyone who does battle depression and who might be considering suicide. Just please be kind and remember words matter to people. But some fast facts about Amanda. Her middle name is Amanda Michelle Todd. She was born November 27, 1996. She passed away October 10th, 2012 at only 15. Come to think of it, that was when I first did my first attempt. Not that at that age, yes, but not that date. Her zodiac sign is a Sagittarius. So, a little background. She is a 15-year-old Canadian schoolgirl, the victim of cyberbullying, which resulted from her passing away due to suicide in her home in Port Coquitlam, British Columbia, Canada. I apologize if I just butchered that up. But she produced a 9-minute YouTube video titled My Story Struggling, Bullying, Self Harm, September 7, 2012, in which she used a series of flashcards to tell her story of being tormented. So after her death, October 7, 2012, this video became viral with over 1,600,000 views by October 13th, 2012. with news websites all over the world linked in, and currently it has over 14 million views. Todd says in the video that while she was in the 7th grade, she utilized video chat to meet new people on the internet and receive compliments on her appearance. She showed her breast on a webcam feed after a stranger begged her to do so for over a year, and the individual stored frames using a screen capture. He later would blackmail her by threatening to reveal the topless photos unless she gave him a show. The police informed her over Christmas break in 2010 that her topless photos was being shared on the internet. She attempted suicide after this incident by drinking bleach. She also gotta get my stress off. Um, she also was saved by being rushed to the hospital, but her misery did not stop there. Uh, and she discovered hateful remarks about her attempted suicide on Facebook. Her mental state gradually started to deteriorate. Despite receiving counseling and antidepressants, she resumed injuring herself and took an opiate medication, resulting in her being admitted for a second time. Todd died from suicide by hanging her body and was found in her home October 10, 2012. The Dutch police charged 35-year-old Aiden Coban in the Netherlands with child pornography in the um, incident assault of April 2014. It was established during the case that he suspected torment of Todd and many other victims, both boys and girls. The trial suspect, who was charged by a Dutch police officer with 72 counts of sexual assault, extortion, involving 39 alleged victims in different countries, began February 2017 and ended March 16, 2017. He was found guilty of extortion and online fraud and sentenced to 10 years and 8 months in jail. He is set to face 5 Canadian charges in connection with Todd's case. Todd's untimely demise drew widespread media attention and coverage around the world. On October 19, 2012, several vigils were held across Canada and beyond in honor of Todd and other bullying victims. Alright, so in 2010, Todd receives blackmail threats, and she is being blackmailed by a man that she meets online who took a Snapchat of her topless body. So let's jump forward to 2012. We're doing a timeline here. She posts a 9-minute YouTube video, then she uploads it to YouTube, in which she titles it My Story, Struggling, Bullying, Suicide, and Self Harm. Also in 2012, that was she committed suicide by hanging herself. Her blackmailer, and then we're going to jump to 2014. Her blackmailer is arrested. Investigations on the issues led to Dutch police to arrest a man identified as Aiden Coban. So, what about his sentence served? Well, in 2022, Coban started to serve his sentence in the Netherlands. In August of 2022 as well, he was convicted of child luring, of child pornography, extortion, and harassment of Amanda Todd. Amanda was only 15 when the video posted in 2012 detailed how the cyberstalker tormented her. The YouTube video was watched by millions at the time and sparked a national debate about online bullying. Coban was sentenced to 11 years in prison by a Dutch court in 2017 for blackmailing and harassing dozens of young women on the internet, some as far away as Britain, Canada, and the US. He was later extradited to Canada, where he faced additional charges. He was not, however, charged with Amanda's death. The 13-year sentence handed it down on Friday will begin after a term imposed by a Dutch court had expired. said the British Columbia Prosecution Service. Coban showed no remorse in the court in New Westminster as he learned his fate. Amanda killed herself 5 weeks after uploading her widely watched YouTube video, and after explicit photos of her were leaked online. The shock and the pain of cyberbullying. Coban harassed nearly 3 years. Uh, the girl for nearly 3 years using 22 separate fake social media accounts. Really, that's obsessive right there. Like you should have harassed her to begin with. She was a minor, and pressuring her to do it, that was uncalled for. He sent messages to her between 2009, starting when she was 13, and 2012, and some in the same in some, he threatened to send explicit images of her to her friends, family, and school staff if she didn't agree to show him the webcam. He hid his IP address so police were not able to trace the messages back to him. During Coben's sentencing this week, prosecutors argued that for a 12-year prison sentence to protect other young people from repugnant abuse. They believe that he is at high risk of offending again. I do too. I believe if you would have let him go, he would do this again to someone else because he did not learn his lesson. His lawyers, Coben's defense lawyers, however, had to push for a 2-year sentence, arguing that a longer punishment would disproportionate the crimes he committed. British Columbia Supreme Court Justice Martha Devlin read the sentence in court on Friday. She would go on to state that although Coben's behavior was not a dominating factor in the girl's suicide, she did find that perhaps for profound harm be caused by aggravated mental health and substance abuse. Mm. She said she would also. Ruining Amanda's life was Mr. Coben's expressly stated goal, sadly one that he achieved, she said. His sentencing hearing in Canada began shortly after the 10th anniversary of Amanda's death. Her mother, Carol, has become an outspoken advocate against online bullying and sex extortion. We need to talk about it, she said, and we need to make sure there is justice for Amanda. Alright. So, as most of you know, this season has a theme: cases that changed the law. Well, how did Amanda's case actually change the law? Well, in 2013, BC-13, the Protecting Canadians from Online Crime Act was introduced following Todd's death. It was aimed to combat online harassment by making it illegal to distribute illegitimate images of a person, intimate images of a person, without their consent. As most of you know, I am against bullying in general, so here are some ways you can keep yourself safe online. One is get the latest antivirus software and firewall software. Update your internet browser. Create a strong and easy to remember password. Use a different password to the one you use for other services. Change your password on a regular basis. Never share your password. Don't let your browser remember your login details. Look after your paper statements. Learn to spot fake emails and websites. A lot of times, depending on it, it will show like this is suspicious, do not open it. And avoid online fraud and con tricks. Believe it or not, they're out there. Also, look, if you know someone who's wanting to take their own life, they can call the U.S. National Suicide Crisis Hotline by dialing 988 or contact the crisis text line by saying talk to 741-741, and you can also call the UK Samaritans helpline at 116-123 or visit Samaritans.org. And I will have a link to that in the end with that as well. But thank you guys, and remember, stay safe on the internet, and remember, your words matter to people. Just know that. Show kindness, because sometimes a little bit of kindness is all someone needs to get through the day. Thank you.